So we see that 4G is going to play an important role in shaping digital India. First of all, in providing a broadband, highly capable access technology for rural areas, and empowering and enabling and connecting people who have so far been unconnected, and giving them an excellent customer experience in how they access data services. Furthermore, it's also going to act as an important platform for high-end users who maybe live in bigger cities and in metros, in terms of giving them, the kind of quality of service that they've been used to for video download, online education, and so on and so forth. Finally, also, we see that 4G is going to act as a widespread platform for machine-type communications. That means in terms of enabling smart cities and the many services that go towards that, such as smart metering and this kind of thing, we see that 4G is going to act as a very significant enabler for those kind of technologies. So we see that all technologies are going to coexist for some considerable time to come. Both all 2G, 3G and 4G are going to have to coexist and there's going to be overlap with those technologies for many years. Particularly 2G has acted as a platform for much of communication, both both data and voice communication for the last 10 to 15 years. And yet it is so widespread as a platform, with such significant coverage and with such a large user base of terminals and cheap, affordable terminals, that this is, we see that this is going to exist. Although the number of subscriptions on 2G may not expand, it will certainly add as a platform upon which then the subsequent technologies will exist. What we see at the moment is that 3G is coming in and growing very dramatically. It provides a significantly better data service than 2G, and also both in terms of end user content and also in how the data is provided to the end user. And it is much more efficient than 2G in that sense, in providing that high capability data experience. What we also see now is that 4G is coming into the picture. Initially, somewhat slowly. Initially, it will start off in urban areas where there's a significant demand for those services, but we see that will increase steadily and will accelerate as people realize how much better service it provides. So we see for a number of years, we see all three technologies coexisting, with a shift occurring from 2G to 3G and from 3G to 4G. Furthermore, then we see that there are some challenges associated with this, which is namely how to enact that shift, that transition going upwards in the different technologies. We all see that as new equipment is installed, data equipment and new base stations in particular, that the older base stations will have to be decommissioned or redeployed into areas where there is only a single technology. And furthermore, we'll also see that spectrum will have to be shifted between different technologies. And this refarming is in itself a challenging process, as it will and require business continuity to occur as services are moved from one technology into the next technology. Operators have many opportunities for fully leveraging their investments in 4G. In particular, they can look at how to provide excellent customer experience and customer service based on their 4G technologies. Not only will 4G give significantly higher throughputs and sharper latencies than the predecessor technologies, but it also allows significantly higher efficiency of capacity to be given, thus enabling a larger number of consumers and subscribers to coexist and to use the network at the same time. Operators will then also be able to look into market-led usage of their leverage of their platform. So this will be looking at how can they categorize their subscribers, how can they tailor-make individual services for the specific categories, customer categories. Finally, then we expect 4G will also give a much more opportunity-led leverage of the platform. Operators will be able to look and will be able to target, not only target particular customer groups, but then will also be able to have far more flexibility in launching and also then removing services once they've fulfilled their useful lifetime. This speed of transition between different services will allow a significantly greater monetization of the 4G platform. So in conclusion, we see three aspects. It is experience-led leverage, market-led leverage, and opportunity-led. Ericsson is helping the ecosystem in many ways. First of all, we're helping operators in terms of looking at deploying the networks and advising, not only deploying the networks with them, but also advising them on the best way to deploy the networks and where and how to do that deployment. Furthermore, we're also working with operators in terms of services and how we can supply services in the design and operation of their networks. We also look at, on a broader perspective, we also look at how we can work with Digital India and look at aspects and initiatives such as smart cities, for example, to see how we can deploy the technology together with other players in the ecosystem in order to provide the services, compelling and affordable services that the subscribers want. We're also working together with other ecosystem players such as content providers, service providers, and even manufacturers in terms of how can we get more localized content and affordable content which is relevant to the Indian population and the Indian consumer. There is a great deal that ecosystem players can do in order to make 4G a success in India. First of all, in terms of making compelling, attractive and affordable content available. With good local content and local services as well as content, they will drive significant interest and demand in 4G services. Content can take a variety of forms. It can either be information which is available, it can be entertainment content, education, or it can be services such as banking and toll paying and this kind of service. And so once those services are in place and they are attractive and affordable, this will encourage demand for those services. Furthermore, in terms of the operators have a pivotal part to play in this transition. Operators can, by providing coverage and capacity where and when it is needed, they will provide a significant platform and an important platform for the provision of mobile broadband services in India. And finally, vendors, both network vendors and terminal vendors have a significant role to play in this ecosystem. By manufacturing devices and supplying equipment and networks locally, they will be able to provide a significant platform, not only a technical platform in terms of networks and so on, but also in terms of the industrial ecosystem that is required in order to build a manufacturing base. By driving this forward, manufacturers will build a genuine industrial ecosystem in India.